Just like that, another Talladega race weekend is in the books. Yeah, congratulations to Austin Cindric for winning the Jack Links 500 at Talladega Superspeedway today by 22 one-thousandths of a second over Ryan Preece. And this race, I would say, was relatively clean, definitely. But man, I gotta say, the racing in if you look at the racing in stages 1 and 2 and at the start of stage 1, 2, and 3, the racing was phenomenal. Like, they were playing conservative when it comes to fuel strategy, and it doesn't look like it. They were racing 4 wide, 3 wide, multiple rows. It's just, when it comes to, being conservative with fuel, these drivers can basically just go all out, make moves, like go to the top, make the top lines work. But then when it comes to, going full throttle and not being conservative, they're just side by side. So that's one thing I did see in this race. I kind of did expect it. I was kind of expecting to see a 3 wide kind of, but they were still gridlocked for most of the time. They tried to make moves on the back, but, this is what I've seen. This was the exact same kind of race I saw when I was at Talladega back in last October when Stenhouse won. So, nothing really. This was practically the same exact race. There were some pushes that, of course, you had to, there were pushes where you needed to, there was only, 3 incidents today. One of them was coming off pit road where Keselowski and Kyle Busch got together and then collected Ryan Blaney, which Keselowski, man, I don't know what is up with Brad Keselowski, man. I mentioned this in my stream, my live race reaction, but Brad Keselowski, I don't know what's up with him, man. I don't know if it's the cars, I don't know if, man, I expected Brad Keselowski to do better. Now he was already below the 30s in points, and now he's going to be even lower because of this. Dang, I feel bad for Brad. Ryan Blaney still leads DNFs now for the series, for the NASCAR Cup Series, unfortunately. But man, on that next restart, big crash for Christopher Bell. He took a big hit. I think that was harder of a hit than what Connor Zilic took in the Xfinity race yesterday. So, man, glad he's okay, but dang, what a hit. And From the replay, it looked like Denny Hamlin tried to push Christopher Bell. I'm not sure if there was anyone behind Denny Hamlin trying to push Hamlin, and Hamlin got into Christopher Bell, but, I mean, that's just a product of these, especially in these cars. You gotta make the pushes in these cars. But it looked like Denny kind of pushed Christopher Bell in the wrong place, and Christopher Bell ended up getting loose, getting into Chris Buescher, just an innocent bystander. Man, sucks for Christopher Bell, but man. Stage 1 was won by Kyle Larson, then Stage 2 was won by Bubba Wallace, and this race, majority of this race, was all about fuel strategy. So, yeah, and you saw it, in the first half of the stages, the racing, 3, 4 wide throughout. That was all just fuel racing. Drivers not even going all out. They were just being conservative, and drivers feeling like, hey, we're gonna go up to the front and try to get track position. So that's why they were all racing like that, racing 3, 4 wide action for multiple laps, especially at the start of the race. Oh my gosh, that was satisfying. So, I mean, something tells me that it's probably the aero package that's causing this. When drivers go all out, full throttle, 100%, you don't really see, it's hard to get a third lane working. I believe it's because of his next-gen aero package. I think that's the reason why. But, I don't really see NASCAR changing the aero package in the future. But, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens, what NASCAR decides. But, yeah, I can't remember of any other incidents that happened other than John Hunter Nemechek spinning out. But other than that, this was a really clean, but had some great racing and great moments. Especially another photo finish, 22 one-thousandths of a second. Dang, I'm pretty sure that a few of the past, especially the one I went to back in 2024, that finished with William Byron, Stenhouse, and Keselowski, and then 2023 Talladega Fall Race with Ryan Blaney and Kevin Harvick, but unfortunately Harvick got disqualified in that race. Man, it's just, these past Talladega races have had some close finishes, and that's just a product of these super speedway races. So, yeah, and it turns out it ended up being Austin Cindric. Now, the Toyotas, they were the ones that pitted first in stage 3, but however, Denny Hamlin, he ended up finishing 23rd. Tyler Reddick ended up finishing, he did finish inside the top 20, and I do know Bubba Wallace finished 10th. And that was because Ross Chastain threw a block on Denny Hamlin. Carson Hocevar was able to get by Chastain, but Chastain threw a block to try to play defense, so that way the Toyotas don't get past them, and that's ultimately what caused this result. So, you know, it is what it is, guys. Dang. Sheesh, Denny Hamlin, when it comes to the next-gen cars, when it comes to the Gen 7 era, just hasn't been able to get the finishes, man. Hasn't been able to get the finishes, like, close to winning the Daytona 500 this year, and end up wrecking on the last lap, and then, you know, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is, so I'm not bothered by it, not bothered by it at all. So I'm just pointing you out, but man, can Denny Hamlin get a good super speedway racing finish? That would be nice if that happens. Which I think the next super drafting track is going to be the Atlanta June race. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see what happens there. The Toyotas, again, they were good too. They showed up in stage 1 as well. Showed up especially in stage 3, but it turned, and then at the end of the day, the Fords, they were able to pit later than the Toyotas, and they were just, like, with Chastain's block, that was able to get the Fords and the Toyotas out in front in that position. And ultimately there, it was just a battle between Austin Cindric, Ryan Preece, Kyle Larson, and William Byron, which I heard William Byron had some sort of steering issue, I think, and then that situation got fixed. So, yeah. Want to take the time now and look at some of the notable finishers. Kyle Busch and Josh Berry, they had a speeding penalty. Trying to look and see where they finished. Kyle Busch and Josh Berry, 29th and 30th. They were about to go a lap down, heading into the final lap and heading to the checkered flag, but dang, man. Just speeding penalties just cost both of them. Anthony Alfredo, shout out to Anthony Alfredo. He impressed me in stage 2. So, yeah, he definitely led good bit for a good portion. Definitely led for a good portion of stage 2. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, Denny Hamlin, he finished 23rd. Yeah. So, Ty Gibbs, he basically led for the first half of the final stage. Cole Custer was up there at one point as well, like earlier in the race. Michael McDowell, I think he had the fastest lap. of the race. So, yeah, he'll get that extra bonus point. Bubba Wallace, I mentioned him. He ended up finishing 10th. Carson Hocevar, he was able to go on and finish 7th. So, or 8th, actually. Chase Elliott finished 7th. Tyler Reddick ended up finishing 16th. Riley Herbst was up there inside the top 3 too, which I think he finished around Hamlin. So, yeah, he finished 24th behind. So, yeah, those were the noticeable finishers. What I want to talk about, Ross Chastain, 22nd. Zane Smith, the pole sitter, ended up finishing 21st. So, yeah, but in conclusion, I feel like this was a pretty solid Talladega race. Of course, with that photo finish, it's always on your get up on your seat moments, because, I mean, anything can happen. Because it's Talladega after all, guys. So, yeah, and once again, congratulations to Austin Cindric. Finally, he gets another super speedway racing win after coming up so close. Yeah, Ryan Preece, man, so close for Ryan Preece, especially with both Keselowski and Chris Buescher both crashing out in stage 1. Yeah, just, man, congratulations to Austin Cindric. So yeah, guys, that's about it for this post-race reaction. Yeah, this race for the most part was about fuel strategy, and yeah. So again, congratulations to Cindric. Close finish, and let's see what happens next week at Texas. So, anyways, this is Preston signing off. Peace out.